So our objective for today, I can divide polynomials. Let's read it together. 1, 2, 3. I can divide polynomials. So check this out. We already came back again to polynomials. We haven't really left them all year. We've been looking at them. But today specifically, if we think back to the beginning of the year, we looked at addition, subtraction, multiplication, and all of a sudden we got into factoring. And I said factoring is another word for division. However, today we're going to get a little bit more explicit in regards to dividing polynomials. So we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to see how we divide by a monomial, from there how we divide by binomials and trinomials, and then we're going to get into your favorite of all time for division, long division. Yay! Yes. All right. So with that said, we don't need the Ferrer model. I'm just going to refresh. I'm going to refresh what polynomials are. Here we go. So I already gave you this time back. You guys remember? And I said polynomials. Once again, you don't need this. But definition for polynomials are expressions which are monomials or the sum or difference of monomials. So let's see. Here's an expression. It's a monomial. Here's another expression. It's another monomial. Here's another expression. It's not a monomial, it's a binomial, but is it a sum of monomials? Let's see, monomial, and are they adding? Yes. Look at this one. This is a trinomial. And are they adding and subtracting monomials? Let's see, monomial. And what operations? Add and subtract. So is it a sum or difference? Yes. So look at the non-examples. What do you notice right away from the non-examples? That they have what? Equal signs. So therefore, we're going to be looking at expressions. We're not looking at equations. So therefore, we're not solving anything. We're not going to say, so what is x? No, we're not going to solve anything. We're just dividing and then simplifying. Okay? So what are polynomials? Expressions only, and they have various terms. Okay? You do need these steps, though. Copy these steps down, please. Steps. Number 1. Polynomials need to be in standard form. Step 1, polynomials need to be in standard form. Step 1, polynomials need to be in standard form. Step 1, polynomials need to be in standard form. Step 1, polynomials need to be in standard form. Step 1, polynomials need to be in standard form. Step 1, polynomials need to be in standard form. Step 1, polynomials need to be in standard form. Tell your neighbor step 1. Step 2, factor completely the numerator and denominator. 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 Step 3, simplify by dividing out common factors. Simplify by dividing out common factors. Simplify by dividing out common factors. And step 4, when dividing by a monomial, set as a fraction, then divide each term and simplify. When dividing by a monomial, set as a fraction, then divide each term and simplify. When dividing by a monomial, set as a fraction, then divide each term and simplify. Copy that, please. All right, so words to circle so that you can memorize those steps. Here we go. Step 1, circle the word standard form. Step 2, factor completely. Step 3, simplify. Step 4, divide each term and simplify. So step 1, standard form. Step 2, factor completely. Step 3, simplify. Step 4, divide each term and simplify. Step 1, standard form. Step 2, factor completely. Step 3, simplify. Step 4, divide each term and simplify. Step 1, standard form. Step 2, factor completely. Step 3, simplify. Step 4, divide each term and simplify. Step 1, standard form. Step 2, factor completely. Step 3, simplify. Step 4, divide each term and simplify. Step 1, standard form. Step 2, factor completely. Step 3, simplify. Step 4, divide each term and simplify. Step 1, standard form. Step 2, factor completely. Step 3, simplify. Step 4, divide each term and simplify. Step 1, standard form. Step 2, factor completely. Step 3, simplify. Step 4, divide each term and simplify. Step 1, standard form. Step 2, factor completely. Step 3, simplify. Step 4, divide each term and simplify. Okay, ask your neighbor for the steps.
What is the step?
Okay, let me get somebody to help us out. How about, copy this down, example 1A. Divide 5x cubed minus 2x squared plus 30x divided by 5x. Copy that, please. All right, here we go. Pens down, eyes up here. I'm going to go over these steps. Here we go. So, step 1, standard form. Let me check. This one's to the third power, second power, first power. Yes, it's in standard form from highest to lowest degree. Okay, we got this. Next step, factor completely. However, what does the fourth step say? If dividing by a monomial, write it as a fraction, divide each term, and simplify. Are we being dividing by a monomial? Yeah, so check this out. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to write 5x cubed minus 20x squared plus 30x over 5x. And you're just paying attention. Here he goes. So, last step, divide each term and simplify. So I'm going to start with the first term. What is my first term? 5x cubed divided by 5x. You see the giant 1 here? Yes, we're left with x cubed divided by x. X squared. If you don't see it, when in doubt, factor out. This one can be written as x times x times x. This one with this one, so we're left with x squared. Let me do the second term. Negative 20x to the second over 5x. What is negative 20 divided by 5? Negative 4. X to the second divided by x, that's x. Once again, if you don't see it, factor it out. The last term. We got positive 30x divided by 5x. I see a giant 1 here. What is 30 divided by 5? 6, and we're done. Copy that, please.
We don't even have to do copying it.
All right, so that was example 1A. Copy this down, please. Example 1B. Let's do this one together. Example 1B. 8p cubed minus 4p squared plus 12p divided by negative 4p squared. Copy that, please. Okay, let's do this one together. Is it in standard form? Let's see, 3, 2, and 1. Yes, standard form. However, is it being divided by a monomial? Is this a monomial right here? Yes, it's one term, isn't it? Yes. So if it is, we write it as a fraction. So I'm going to rewrite this. 8p cubed minus 4p squared plus 12p over negative 4p squared. Okay, so let's start one term at a time. What's my first term? 8p cubed, so I'm going to write 8p cubed divided by negative 4p squared. So what is 8 divided by negative 4? Negative 2. P cubed divided by p squared. P. Once again, if you don't see it, when in doubt, factor out. This will be p, p, and p. This is p and p. These are two giant ones, and we're left with 1p. To the middle term. Middle term. Negative 4p squared divided by negative 4p squared. Giant 1, giant 1. So what is 1 times 1? Positive 1. Do the last term. 12p divided by negative 4p squared. So, if If you don't see it, I'm going to factor this out so you guys can see it. Here it goes. This is 2 times 2 times 3 times p. Is that correct? This is negative 2 times 2 times p times p. Giant ones. Here, here, and here. What do we have left on the numerator? 3. How about the denominator? P, and it's a negative.
Can you divide negative 4 by 2 because we have the top?
Yeah, we can do that. Let's do another one. Example 1C. 1C. See if you can do that one by yourself. 6x cubed plus 2x minus 15 divided by 6x. Go. Okay, let's see. You rewrote this. 6x cubed plus 2x minus 15 over 6x. My first term is 6x cubed divided by 6x. Giant 1. We're left with x squared. And we got that. Okay. Second term. 2x divided by 6x. Once again, I need to factor this one out. 2 times 3. The 6 became 2 times 3. Is that correct? Giant 1 right here. Giant 1 over here. What's left on the denominator? 3. What goes in the numerator? 1, and it's a positive. We're done with the middle term. Let's go with the last term. Negative 15 over 6x. Once again, we can factor it out. This is negative 3 times 5 over 2 times 3 times x. Do you see the giant 1? Yeah, right here. What's left on the numerator? Negative 5 over 2x. And we're done. Yes? Okay, so far so good. Let's copy this next one down, please. 2a. 2a. It says divide x squared plus 2x minus 15 over x minus 3. Now these we've already been doing, so let's do this one together. First things first, I'm going to go ahead and, let's see, do I have GCF? No. And we're going to factor the numerator. Let's see, open two parentheses. Power Ranger, we got negative 15 on top, 2 on the bottom. What factors of 15 add or subtract to give us 2? 5 and negative 3, so this is x plus 5, x minus 3 within the denominator, x minus 3, giant 1, so therefore we're left with x plus 5. Yeah, so this second example, example 2, even from your book, is going to be like a review because we already covered this, right? So let's do another one, example 2b. Copy this one down. It says, divide 2x squared minus 7x minus 4 over x squared minus x minus 12. So for this one, I'm going to start with the numerator. Is there a GCF in the numerator? No, so we open up two parentheses. 1, 2. We get our Power Rangers going. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. What goes on top? 2 times negative 4, that's negative 8. And our middle term is negative 7. Factors of 8 that add up or subtract to 7. Negative 8 times 1. However, we need to rewrite this trinomial. So I start with my first term, which is 2x squared. And instead of going to my middle term, which is 7x, I'm going to write these. What is it? Minus 8x, and then plus 1x. And what's my last term? Negative 4. Now we can group this. this and this, this and this. So what's GCF? 2x, and we're left with x minus 4. What's GCF for the second one? 1, and we're left with x minus 4. So my factors, let's see. 2x plus 1. And let's see what's the same here and here? X minus 4. We there so far? That was the numerator. Now we need to do the same thing for the denominator. We have Power Rangers here. We got negative 12. What goes down here? Negative 1. What factors of 12 add or subtract to give us negative 1? Negative 4 and positive 3. So we're left with x minus 4, x plus 3. Do you see the giant 1? Yeah, right here and right here. So we're left with 2x plus 1 over x plus 3. So far so good? Okay. Example 2C. Let's see if you can do this one by yourself. Get it? 2C? Yeah. See? All right. You got 40 seconds for this one? Yeah? Because it's an easy one. Go. Divide 10 plus 7k plus k squared over k plus 2. Go. Okay, let's see. Step 1, is it in standard form? No, we need to rewrite this. K squared plus 7k plus 10 over k plus 2. And we can factor the numerator. This becomes, let's see, Power Rangers. We got 10 and 7. Factors of 10? 5 and 2. So this is k plus 5, k plus 2. Denominator is k plus 2. Giant 1. We're left with k plus 5. Hands if you got that by yourself. Okay? All right. So, pens down really quick. Now, a quick hint. Here it goes. This is something that I want you to see. Look at the first ones that we did. Wasn't this a monomial? Yes, so therefore I wrote it as one fraction, and then I divided and simplified each term. Look at this one. Isn't this a monomial? Yes, I wrote it as a fraction, divided and simplified each term. Monomial, yes. Wrote it as a fraction, divided and simplified each term. Are we there? However, look at these last ones. Was this a monomial? No, that's why we didn't write each term and simplify it. We have to do what? Factor and simplify. You guys notice the difference? Everybody look up. Look at this one. We wrote it as a fraction. We did each term. We simplified and divided. Are we there? However, for these, we factor and simplify. Look at this one. Factor and simplify. Look at this one. Factor and simplify. Are we there? Notice the difference between the two? So when we divide by a monomial, make sure you write it as a fraction, divide each term, and simplify. But if it has a denominator of a divisor of a binomial or trinomial, make sure you factor first and then you simplify. All right? So with that said, copy this next one down, please. By looking at it, is this a monomial? No, therefore we're going to factor them and simplify. Do it together. Here we go. Does this look familiar? Yep, difference of squares. So therefore you open up two parentheses, b and b. Let's see. Square root of this, square root of this, 7 and 7, one positive, one negative. B plus 7, see the giant 1, therefore b minus 7. Pretty good? All right. So, now that we're done with the easy part, oh yes. Oh yes, dun dun dun. Here he goes. Pens down, please. Eyes up here. Okay. Oh yes. So now it's time to get into our favorite stuff in the world. Okay. So check this out. Now, when I was at the other school that I used to teach, I used to walk across, and I used to go volunteer to teach math classes at an elementary. So I remember when I asked the teacher, I would have them write down if they needed me to go in, and they said yes. We're covering long division, but they have a hard time memorizing which one is which, the terminology, the quotient, the dividend, the divisor. I said, all right, so check this out. So it's kind of like this. Whenever you have, check this out. I got there and I told the kids, all right, kids, I'm going to go ahead and make a baseball cap. I'm going to sketch a baseball cap. There it is. Like that. And here I'm going to put some of you call it the bill, I call it the visor. Do you see the visor? Do you guys see the visor? The visor. The visor. The visor. Do you guys see the visor? So therefore, check this out. By looking at a long division, which is the visor? 23. Therefore, all we have to do is the answer for the division, the answer to the division, which is what we get here, is called the quotient. Quotient. So if we have these two things already, therefore whatever's left is the dividend, which is the end. Dividend. Divisor, quotient, dividend. I know, and the teacher was like, wow, how come I never thought about that? Well, because no. Yeah. So, that's just, guys, that's just so that you can remember some of the terminology. So this is what it looks like. Everybody look up. So if I was to give you this, the first part is the dividend. This is the divisor. Dividend, divisor. So this will be written like this, and this is what we will end up with. Okay? Now check this out. Divisor, dividend. This is the answer to the division, so it's called the what? Quotient. So check this out. Divisor, quotient, dividend. So I'm just showing you the terminology I'm going to be using right now. So copy this next example down, please. Example 3A. 3A. Focus, please. 3A. It says, divide using long division. X squared plus 10x plus 21 divided by x plus 3. Just copy it. I'm going to go ahead and do this one and show you how it's done. You guys copy then the rest of the steps, and then we'll do another one. Here it goes. All right? Pens down, pencils down. You're just going to pay attention. Here it goes. First things first, I'm going to write my dividend. X squared plus 10x plus 21 divided by the divisor, x plus 3. So now check this out. This is how it's going to work. How many terms in this divisor? 2 terms. 1, 2. That means I need to start on my second term here. 1 term, 2 terms. So my first number needs to go above the second term. How do we find that one? Everybody look up, please. I'm going to look at my first term and my first term. What is x squared divided by x? Let me repeat that again. X squared divided by x is x. Now that we have our first number, now I multiply. What is x times x? X squared. What is x times 3? 3x. But in division, what is the next thing we do? We subtract. But since it's a binomial, I need to distribute the negative also to here. So x squared minus x squared cancels. 10x minus 3x, that's 7x. and I bring down the plus 21. Is that correct? So now check this out. I need to find my next number here. The next number that goes here. I start again with my first term of whatever is left. What is 7x divided by x? 7x divided by x is 7, and it's a plus, so therefore 7 times x, that's 7x. 7 times 3, that's 21. And if we subtract, distribute this, don't these cancel? And we're left with, and what is our quotient? X plus 7. Copy that, please. Yes, cool and confusing, yes. Copy that, please. Okay, so let's do another one. Example 3B. 3B. Copy this down, please. Here you go. Penny. X squared minus 2x minus 8 divided by x minus 4. Let's do this one together. We write our dividend. X squared minus 2x minus 8 divided by, what's our divisor? X minus 4. So how many terms does the divisor have? 2. Therefore, I look at my second term here, so my first number has to go above the second term. How do we find this number? By looking at our first terms. What is x squared divided by x? X. And now we multiply. Here we go. X times x, x squared. X times negative 4, negative 4x. We need to subtract. If we subtract, we need to distribute this to this term. This becomes what? A positive. So therefore, these cancel. We're left with 2x, bring down the negative 8. How do we find this number? Look at the first term again. What is 2x divided by x? 2, positive. So 2 times x, that's 2x. 2 times negative 4, that's negative 8. Subtract, distribute this. This becomes a positive. These cancel, don't they? And these cancel, don't they? And we're left with 0. So what is our quotient? X plus 2. Did we see that? Okay, let's do another one. One more. Here we go. Last one. Copy this one. 2y squared minus 5y minus 3 divided by y minus 3. Do this one together a little bit faster. And let's get started with our dividend. What's our dividend? 2y squared minus 5y minus 3 divided by y minus 3. How many terms here? 2. So my first number should go above this one. So let's look at our first term. What is 2y squared divided by y? 2y. So therefore, 2y times y, that's 2y squared. 2y times negative 3, that's negative 6y. Are we there? Subtract, distribute the negative. This becomes a positive 6. This cancels. We're left with what? Y. Bring down the negative 3. Look at the y's. What is y divided by y? Y divided by y? 1. 1 positive. So we multiply all this and we get y minus 3. If we subtract, this becomes 0. So my quotient is 2y plus 1. Homework is found on page what? 671, numbers 1 through 33 odd. Have a good one, guys. Enjoy your homework. I'll see you guys tomorrow.